This episode brought to you by
Audible! For all of your Jingle Bell ears.
For Jingle Bell ears. I like that. It's very appropriate. Guys, go to audibletrial.com/horrorvirgin for 30 days free and a book to get you started. And for that recommendation,
So I'm recommending it. It's so good. You may have seen the first chapter in when it came out in 2017. And the second chapter is coming out, and this is when they're all grown-ups. And so the book is really cool because it goes back and forth between these two timelines. It's awesome. It's one of my favorites. It's really scary, too. And it's read by Steven Weber, so you should definitely...
From Wings?
From Wings, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's Brian, I think, the younger, kind of a loose cannon pilot brother, you know? Yes, but he does a really good job reading this book.
He's like the Murtaugh of Wings.
He is. Well, no, I'd say he's more the Riggs.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Tim Daly is the Murtaugh.
That's right, because he's getting too old for this shit.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
He is the older brother. Start listening to it now, and you might have it finished by September when the second one comes out.
All right, guys. audibletrial.com/horrorvirgin. Listen to it.
Yeah. Woo!
Bye! This episode also brought to you by our Burn It Down Patreon subscriber,
Nick D.
He wanted us to shout out a film that he wants to see, and it's currently trying to be funded on like a GoFundMe or something. It's called Preacher 6.
Ooh.
I actually did watch the 2 trailers they have up online for it at preacher6.com, and the biggest compliment I can give it is that I think I would hate it.
Yeah. Which means that it is a terrifying movie.
Right. It looks like it could be a good movie. But
Yeah.
guys, follow at Kyle D. Hester, Hester, because he's the guy who's actually trying to get the movie made. Or just go to preacher6.com.
Yeah.
It honestly looks like it could be pretty good. Bring
in that theme music.
I'm not comfortable with how low cut your shirt is.
I fucking love that shirt, man.
Hey,
Why are you
listen,
making fun of his
it's
shirt?
not my fault they only make this shirt in women's sizes.
It all happens
I
so
look great
fast.
in
There
it.
are women grabbing things everywhere. Welcome to the Horror Virgin, everybody.
You guys are
Todd
dicks.
accidentally
You have
cross-dressed
buttons down
to
to your
the-
belly button on that shirt.
No, man. They're just like, I like this shirt. It brings out the gray in his hair.
It-
Wow! Wow!
I love your
This is the worst beginning ever.
I mean,
Heather Gray is a good look on you.
It is.
Just
Wow.
top to bottom.
I love that color on him.
oh, Todd just raged through his ear pod.
I was
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas
Merry
Eve.
Christmas.
Do you want to
Merry
introduce
Christmas
yourself?
Eve. Oh, yeah, I am Jen.
Ugh.
Damn it, every time.
And she falls for it.
I do. I know.
I'm the Virgin Todd, and we have 2 guests.
Two guests.
We have a resident guest and an actual guest. How about that?
Who goes first?
Well,
You'll
you,
use
because
since you're
talking.
talking.
Yes.
I'm Mikey.
Turn your head down.
Welcome back, Mikey. It's an
Hey,
honor to be on your
Mikey.
podcast, guesting on
guest
podcast.
on podcast Christmas episode.
Christmas Eve. And we have another guest, Natalie.
Yay, Natalie.
Welcome.
Hi.
I brought Natalie on because she loves this movie like I do, and I needed backup because I knew that Jen wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
So,
I did not pick this movie.
no, I did. I thought it was about time I got a movie in.
Yeah. It'll
And
be your
it's-
only one all year.
Yay.
Merry Christmas, Todd.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we watched
What
The
movie
Nightmare
did we
Before
watch?
Christmas.
Yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas because it's the night before Christmas.
It is the night before Christmas.
Yes.
And all through the house.
I was watching movies
Not a
I don't
Jen was
like.
happy.
Nope. Not even a mouse.
Because she hated this movie.
I didn't hate it. I strongly disliked it
Yeah.
though. I don't know if I quite
Jen, I am
got to
so
hate.
glad that you're joining me on the
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm not a huge
anti-Nightmare
fan.
Before Christmas
Oh.
train.
So we know that this is not technically a horror movie, although it does have horror elements in it. But yeah, we are going to drop a very special Christmas episode tomorrow for you. And that episode is going to be Black Christmas.
An actual horror movie.
Which is an actual horror movie. It is a slasher. It's good. I really like it.
So don't feel like you're going to get gypped out of your Todd scares. It's going to happen, but
although,
it'll happen tomorrow.
I feel like we're negging this movie. As much as I don't like this
Whoa,
movie.
Jen. Whoa. What did you say?
I said I feel like we're negging this movie. What is that? Why is
Oh,
that
sorry. I thought you
wrong?
said something else.
What did you think she said?
I don't want to get
You
into
think I
it.
was talking about Black Christmas again? So as much as I don't like this movie, I understand why people love it. And lots
Yeah.
of people really do. Natalie loves this
I
movie.
do
Yeah.
love it.
Lots of people in the horror community love it. It's just not my thing. But I mean,
Yeah, because it's happy and,
It's happy.
you know, it's about
no,
love.
it's because
and,
it's Tim Burton.
It's because it's
That's why I really
boring.
like
It's
it.
a boring movie.
And I'll say this. I hate Tim Burton live action movies. And this
I
is the
don't-
only Tim Burton movie I've ever seen that I don't hate. And I just sort of hate Tim Burton in general, like as a person. I've never seen someone with a more punchable face.
What?
But I
That's
like
so mean.
But I like
told
this
you he's
movie
mean.
quite a bit. When was the first time you saw this, Natalie?
Well, I wasn't allowed to watch it when it came out because,
Right. Fundamentalist Christianity is a real thing.
Yeah, real thing. So I was probably
That's so fun.
probably didn't see it until I was 19 or 20.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It was much later for me. I didn't see it until I had a girlfriend who loved this movie, and she made me watch it, and I was like, I don't want to see it. It's going to be stupid. And I was like, I love it.
Yeah.
So
Aw.
yeah, what's this?
What's
You
this?
learned to love
I love this
Halloween.
movie now.
What's this?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
How did I miss this somehow? Sorry, I'll stop.
Well, it's
No, you're right.
great because like for me, the whole Christmas season starts at Halloween. It's like it goes from Halloween to New Year's,
Yes.
and it mixes evereverything. So
You mean
you're-
right
makes me
after
happy.
Halloween?
Yeah.
No, like before Halloween, the season starts.
What?
Wait.
Wait.
Christmas starts before Halloween for you?
Wait,
Yes.
okay, give
It
me
all
a date.
starts at the same time. It's like all one big season for me. It's like
let's-
Halloween,
like,
Christmas.
okay, like what
fall?
month?
What month? Okay, the day is September 30th because that is my birthday.
So Devil's Night. So like you watch The Crow and decorate for Christmas.
I don't watch The Crow and decorate for Christmas. I watch this and decorate
September,
for
it's
Christmas.
Christmas season.
It is. No.
So if it was up to you and you like ran a Target store, you would start playing Christmas music like in July.
No.
That would actually make more sense.
I know,
because it would be
Christmas in July.
But
Exactly.
it would drive customers away. Nobody likes that.
No.
Except for me. So.
Right. Jen hates this
Can't
movie.
imagine why. I just love Halloween. If Halloween could
love
be
both.
longer and then Christmas could be, I don't know.
What?
Christmas doesn't start for me until December.
Yeah,
That's when I
So you're
start
like a
caring about it.
Macy's
for
Day
me.
Christmas purist.
Yeah, except I don't really like parades either.
I don't like
So-
parades either, but that to me signifies like Christmas starts
don't
for
like
me.
parades?
Look, I love horror movies.
No,
but I love
do
Christmas.
like that when you're
I do
watching.
too.
I do like that if like you go to a parade, if you walk against, like if you walk the opposite direction the parade's walking in, it's like fast forwarding the parade.
You get to see everything, but you don't have to. You just have to fight crowds all the time.
Wow, rude!
It took us a
You're
long.
supposed to be on my side.
Why? I have to always be on your side?
Well, I brought you on it because
Yeah,
like
didn't you
this
watch the movie?
I do love this movie.
Ladies always have to agree with the men.
I'm sorry.
They
I'm
can
sorry. That was
quietly
so
disagree
smart,
in
Todd.
song.
Song. I'll be writing a song about my disagreement with you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that
I'm
sounds
so
like the worst
sad.
relationship. If someone came home and like sang all the things I did wrong all the time, I'd be like,
But not to you. Not to
No.
you.
just like in the shower.
Yes.
So, like I'm getting ready for work, and they're like,
Just rage sing it into my journal.
he never emptied the
Into
dishwasher.
my journal.
You have a YouTube channel with all of your songs.
He
Not
was too
with your name
sarcastic
on it.
last night.
You would just like be singing your disapproval about someone's
Why
decisions.
are the dishes not done? I put
Oh, in
them
my
in
mind,
the sink.
in my mind, you were like Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine. You were like Bullseye parading it, like
yeah.
open freestyle rapping about how much that shit would be hilarious.
I could
I'd just
I'm
be
more of a
brushing my
killing in the
teeth
name
like,
of.
oh, I hate this relationship.
Oh, I've been there.
I can hear you
Oh, I've
singing.
been there.
Not recently though, right?
No.
Okay, good.
I want to sing Laundry in the Name of now.
Yes.
Oh, actually, I could make that song work in a lot of different domestic situations. I think. My husband loves Christmas, so I know that as soon as I like open the door to Christmas, it's like frosty all the time and like
Is that a sex thing?
no. Gross. No, but like it will, and we now have kids, so like I've watched The Grinch probably 50 times already.
It was on. Oh no.
Which one? Like the original
The original
animated
Yeah,
Okay,
but we went to see the
We
new one
watched
and like
the,
watched the Jim Carrey
the
version.
Jim Carrey one, which is pretty
I
good.
love it.
no, it's weird.
I mean, I grew up
I
on the
love
original
it.
Grinch, so I think the original
both.
Grinch is still my favorite.
Well, yeah.
I
Just
like it
'cause,
now.
it's like nostalgic, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't seen it in probably 15 years, so
Oh,
yeah.
it
Watch
might
it.
not hold up well. But
No,
I
it still holds
No,
up.
it
I
does
have
still
real
hold up.
fond memories of it.
I didn't like it when I was a kid because Dr. Seuss illustrations freaked me out.
Oh, yeah?
really?
So and so I was reading this to some kids one time and started crying because it was the first time I read this book and I was like, oh, and they're singing even though they didn't get presents. And that's when, yeah. And
Were
my
you
heart grew
projecting
3
things on it,
sizes. I
Jen?
was, yeah.
Of course you were.
Hey, I feel my feelings.
Oh, my
Yes,
God.
man.
Yeah.
Amen.
I'm gonna
I go
bottle
on
them up and
many emotions.
suppress them until I die.
And then just throw them into the ocean.
You gotta sing them in the shower, Todd.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Feelings.
Oh my God! Can we talk about this fucking movie?
Yeah, so we watched The Nightmare Before
We're
Christmas.
backing up that far. Oh dear God!
We didn't even start.
We didn't start talking about it.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
This is what happened when we watched The Visit. Todd tried to distract us for 45 minutes talking about nonsense.
Man, I
Because he
hated
was
that
too
movie.
scared.
I was.
Such a good
So
movie.
I'm
Well, there's
trying to
nothing
put it
scarier
off.
than Alzheimer's.
It wasn't about Alzheimer's. It's about sundowning and shitting your pants.
I feel like Mikey just took us on a turn. I'm not ready to talk about. There's nothing scarier than adult illiteracy.
Yeah, I'm gonna like back a different charity each time. Be like really morbid. There's a lot of homeless dogs out there, just like Zero.
In the arms of an angel.
All right, so we start with "This Is Halloween." This is Halloween.
That's the first song.
And I wrote down, I like this song. And
Yeah, so you like musicals. So you like
I
the
do.
musical
I do really
elements
like
of it.
musicals.
I do remember, like, especially in Halloween Town, you were saying things like, "Oh, I don't like that one."
Oh, yeah.
Like they were very specific
characters.
creatures you hated.
yes,
The
yes.
wolf.
I'd say I didn't
Eddie
like that
Vedder
wolf
Wolf,
guy.
yeah.
I didn't like that guy that was
Melty
like
face guy.
melty face guy. I didn't like him.
You didn't like wheelchair guy.
I didn't like.
The duck
I
man.
called him Duck Man.
Duck
Yeah,
Man.
Right.
I didn't like the
Woo.
stripy.
Well, he does have duck lips. He's doing duck face. He
He
looks like an
is.
Instagram girl.
He can't help it. Didn't like a Cleaverhead Man. I liked the vampires.
Yes, you did. They were
I liked
adorable.
Zero.
Zero.
Of course,
The
you like
best.
Zero.
Yeah.
You're not a monster.
Did you like Jack Skellington?
He was okay.
Oh my
I
God.
liked him. I
Did you
mean,
like the main character? Eh.
I mean, she is
I'm with
entitled
you.
to her.
Jack
I am
Skellington.
Mr. I hate every movie we watch except for Leslie
You
Vernon.
make me watch horror movies.
That's true.
So,
forgot he did
So
that.
I like the song. And so, okay, so kind of what I was realizing is like, this is not really my aesthetic, but you would think I would love this because I do love Halloween and I like creepy stuff just in general. And I kind of just want creepy stuff around me a lot.
That's why they have me on the podcast.
Right.
Super creepy.
But so like the 25% of this imagery I do really like the vampire guys. I like those guys. But then there are like 4 other people that really bug me or are really gross.
what was gross in this movie?
The melty
The
face
melty face guy. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
What melty face? I don't remember that.
His
Remember his
face
hand gets
melted.
stuck to it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooga
yeah.
Booga was gross with
Oogie
the
Boogie Man?
yeah, with the maggot stuff. Everything was gross. Her body was sewn together. Every
had
time
leaves
somebody
inside
took
her,
a
though.
part of their body off, it grossed me out. Yeah, I just not my thing, man. Don't like it.
See, that feels very Halloween and horror-y to me, though. So
It
I figured you would
does.
have liked that.
But it's more like a cartoonish version of Halloween, and I think I like more like classic imagery and
So if it was real
spooky.
blood and gore,
I'd probably like it more.
interesting.
Yeah, like Ghostface. I like Ghostface. Not so much weird witches.
So if
in
Scream
this.
was a musical, you'd be like all about it.
That would be awesome. There's actually an Evil Dead musical that
Yeah.
I would love to see.
There's a movie coming out that's a zombie musical. I forgot.
Anna
name
and the
of it.
Apocalypse.
Ah.
I've heard very different things about it, but apparently it's like people are either loving it or hating it.
I don't like musicals.
I love musicals.
I love
you just
musicals
haven't seen
so
the
much.
right
Yeah.
musical.
You're-
What musicals do I need to see, Jen?
Hamilton. I haven't seen
I
it,
haven't seen Hamilton.
but I know all the songs.
know all
But I did listen to the Hamilton soundtrack while I was working out today.
Hamilton
That is a
so
true
good.
story.
What song should we sing from
Nothing gets you
Hamilton?
pumped more than musical theater, Todd.
You have no idea, man. I was doing some hella cardio listening to General Lafayette rap.
Oh yeah,
This is so good.
Lafayette.
Whoa.
Lafayette.
Yeah, she knows it. That's word for word.
I'm impressed.
Hey, he's French. He's hard to understand.
Exactly. My accent is just so authentic. You're the one who's weird, listeners, not me. I do love
So you
Hamilton.
didn't like Oogie Boogie.
He was okay.
I like the musicians.
joking.
I like the musicians a lot.
I'm with Jen. I don't like Jack Skellington. That's where the whole movie falls
Yeah.
apart.
You don't like Jack.
You
So
mean
for you,
every
the whole
time the
movie
main
falls apart
character's around?
in the
Main
first
character.
song.
Yeah.
See, the first song where Jack is a douchebag.
Yeah. See, and I don't really like Sally. So like,
No, Sally's not great either.
No.
No.
Who do we like in this movie?
Santa Claus.
Zero.
I don't know. He's kind
Zero,
of a dick.
yes.
Yeah, I do like Santa Claus. I mean Zero.
I like the mayor.
You remind me of the mayor
I was
song.
going to say the same thing.
I could see that.
Okay, so but the mayor, the voice of the mayor, is the guy from Beetlejuice. He's
Michael
trying-
Keaton?
No.
Which guy?
He's trying to sell the house. When they have the Deo, me say
Oh,
Deo,
yeah.
he's the big guy. Yeah.
No, and then it's like I had a hard time figuring out the hierarchy of Halloween Town. Like there's an elected official, he's the
Yeah.
mayor.
Yeah,
But then
there's
he's
also
the
a king.
King.
He
Yeah, he's the
inherited
king,
his throne.
And then there's a mayor. It's
Yeah.
like
the mayor is
England.
elected.
And that's why
Yeah.
he said he can't do anything on his own.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
he didn't
He's
want
an
to piss
elected
off
official.
everybody. They won't vote for him again.
Unlike
I
other
don't know.
elected
Jack's
officials
just
that
like
try to do things on their own.
bitching and moaning about being in charge of Halloween Town. He
he's
doesn't
sad.
appreciate anybody helping him at all.
If it's
No,
Halloween,
okay.
it's all
All about
the time.
But he's tired of it. He wants something different.
So
You
what you're
can't
saying
fault
is
him
Jack
for
is a
that.
classic narcissist.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I could.
He's
I
just
see that.
sad. He's been doing the same thing over and over and over his whole undead life.
Yes.
He's realizing he's not fulfilled because he needs
Yeah.
variety.
Or maybe he
Yes.
could like let the mayor plan next Halloween, and he could just like
Well, the mayor is
decorate
playing.
the pumpkins.
Maybe
He could,
listen
like,
to
take a step
somebody
back.
else's
Yeah.
ideas. Step
He
outside the
kidnaps
box.
a whole different holiday
Yeah.
before trying anything else.
yeah.
Because he thinks that he can make it better. I mean, that's a classic narcissist.
Now,
Right. This
he
is
did
an
try a
existential
bunch
crisis.
of
I don't
different
wanna-
science
Swear to God,
experiments,
Natalie, if you
though.
turn against me in this movie, I'll be so mad. If they convince you,
movie.
I swear to God, I'll
I
be so
love a
mad.
good anti-hero.
Yeah, that's true. I do, and I didn't.
yeah, no.
I didn't mind Jack so much. I did write an entire I boxed off a little spot for how I could project my emotions onto Jack Skellington. I'll reveal it throughout the course of this podcast.
Oh my God.
boy.
I did.
looking
I saw
forward to
myself
that.
in Jack Skellington a little bit.
Because you're a classic narcissist.
No, because he's stuck.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
needs to.
We've all been there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the story of this movie, I have some issues with how Sally and Jack relate with each other and some of the
You mean
beats
like
of the
how
story.
they don't relate at all?
They
Right.
don't. They honestly
Yeah.
do not talk a whole lot.
But it's
at all.
really
They talk none.
the thing that bothers me about this movie is really just the imagery. Like the story is okay. The music is not my favorite, but I kind of like some of it, and it's well done. This is a very well done movie.
Yeah, Danny
It's-
Elfman crushes this. He's so good in this.
Yeah. It's just that the imagery is just not my particular. Like, I really like David Fincher. I know not a lot of people do, but I really like that kind of aesthetic.
What? You know,
What?
I really hate. I like Steven Spielberg, but I know nobody else does.
You're right. So the person wearing a Jaws shirt currently.
I do love that shirt.
Everyone likes
Everyone
David
loves
Fincher.
David
Do they
Yeah,
all?
what are you
I know
talking
people
about?
complain about him, but I love him. But he's got a specific aesthetic,
He does,
you know?
yeah.
Steven Spielberg has a specific aesthetic. Everything's like twinkly in the background, you know? Tim Burton's is just not something that I particularly
I don't like his
enjoy.
aesthetic either. This
I
is
Yeah.
love his aesthetic.
It's just weird for the sake of being weird to me, which
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like Tim Burton doesn't have a personality. If like you take the weirdness out of it, that's all he is. That's why I don't think he's a really good director. He
And
has
so-
one thing. He's like
right.
Quentin Tarantino. He does one thing all right, and he's built a brand around that one thing, but he can't do anything else.
That's
Well,
my biggest complaint is he doesn't
Yeah.
branch out, and it's just one thing over and over again.
And so Steve, we may have talked about this a little bit, but Steven from Modern Horrors was talking about how he's better when he does not have full creative control of everything.
That's I think
too.
why I like this.
Right, because somebody was still kind of reining him in a little bit and saying, "No, this is just fucking weird. Why do you have Johnny Depp dressed in that ridiculous suit?"
What's your-
So you're one of the people that really like this kind of aesthetic.
I do.
Yeah.
I love this aesthetic.
And I can understand why people like it. It's really going for what it is. You know, it's just not my thing. You
and
know?
I feel like there are other artists who do a similar thing, but not to the extent that he does.
right.
So
or not as well.
Or
you
not
know?
as well. And so I like it. I like the aesthetic. I like the feel of it. I like that it's like cute and creepy, which
Right.
is I like it.
Just
Yeah.
Todd's whole shlick.
What's up?
Cute and
How you
creepy.
doing, ladies? Lady.
Thank you for correcting. Jeez.
But I also just talking about Christmas horror, not a huge fan of Christmas horror. And I'm actually working through a blog of my feelings about this.
Imagine that.
I know.
You writing a blog that's all about your feelings.
It might have something to do with
Classic
some things I'm talking
narcissist.
about in therapy.
Jen, we'll watch some Christmas horror movies that I like, that I think are good.
Okay. Well, okay. So if you look at this and you look at like Halloween, everything in Halloween Town is like Halloween times
Yeah.
a billion. And then everything in Christmas is like Halloween times a billion. And it doesn't seem like it should go together. And that's why sometimes Christmas horror bugs me, because I feel like it's hard to find that balance of making like this heartwarming season and this season about death and destruction and putting them together. And the reality is life is not cut and dry, and terrible things still happen while other people have like moments of joy, and you just have to take it all together. But it's just hard to find that line.
I feel like Die Hard does a good Christmas
Die Hard is
mix.
not a Christmas movie.
What?
I'm just
What?
kidding.
What?
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
Holy
I just
shit!
love
I was
how
about
this
to
is
throw
just
everything at
like
you.
an ongoing debate, and people like
It's
lose
not a
their
debate.
fucking
It's a Christmas
minds.
movie.
Yeah, it's set on Christmas.
Exactly.
The first two are set on Christmas,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous.
What a coincidence.
It's like
Yeah.
when people say Ghostbusters is not a horror movie. There are ghosts in the title.
And they get busted.
Right.
That library scene in the beginning is scary.
Winston.
That's go second one, you stupid.
So Jack is the king.
The only thing I wanted to do is I wanted, because when he starts singing the Pumpkin King part,
Yeah.
in my mind, he's going to sing Pirate King, and I get so happy because I love Pirates
I
of
am the
Penzance.
Pirate King.
Yeah. I wanted Kevin Kline to come in and be like, it's the same tune as the Pumpkin King.
Oh
Which is a joke that only you would get. But yeah,
You're welcome.
if you
for
guys have
everything
seen
I
Pirates
do.
of Penzance, you're laughing right now. Those of you who aren't, you're welcome.
So I wrote down Mayor's from Beetlejuice, but now that I'm thinking about it, this entire movie exists in the waiting room of Beetlejuice in the afterlife waiting room.
This is what they're
Yeah.
watching in Beetlejuice in a a cardiology dungeon waiting room.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
everything. It's just, and I do think there's some shout outs to Beetlejuice in there. I've got it written down somewhere. Anyways,
Well, Beetlejuice is before this, right? I honestly don't know when
Beetlejuice
Beetlejuice
is
came
before
out, but this
this.
is '93 when this came out.
this was 93. I've
So,
got it all.
In the first scene, really, this is Halloween scene.
We're just introduced to all the creepies.
Yeah, you're introduced to all the creepies. They set up Halloween Town. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
really major happens because we don't even realize that Jack, who is the Pumpkin King, is very melancholy about his life until he starts singing, which is like sort of the next song. And the next
he sings
scene.
his one song glory song from Rent. Scene
So,
2.
yeah, scene 2 is where Jack is like, this is
Yeah.
where he reveals that as the Pumpkin King, he is sick of being just the Pumpkin King.
Yeah, because he needs
Jack's-
variety in his
Yeah.
life.
Something's missing.
Yeah.
Jack's
Yeah, it's-
existential crisis.
The pumpkin spice latte of his life is too
But
same. He needs
Sally's
more
what's
spice in his
missing.
life.
He's
Hold
just
on.
too dumb to realize
Right.
it.
He needs more spice in his life than pumpkin spice. Boom! There it is.
Nailed it.
I think it's because Halloween
I'm doing
Town,
the wave with myself.
Woo.
they never, Jack has a bunch of yes men. He needs, if they
that's
were actually
true.
giving their honest opinions, I
Yeah.
think Jack would be much
like,
happier
But
as
then
a
when they
leader.
give their honest opinion, like Sally, he doesn't listen.
Exactly.
Jack is a
Yeah.
jackass.
Be like, oh, yeah.
Nailed it.
Jack, maybe
Yeah.
if you didn't set yourself on fire every Halloween, you'd like Halloween more. But no, it's like Tyra Banks, and she's just surrounding herself
Tyra
with
Banks sets herself on fire every Halloween.
Oh, she is on fire.
I did not know that.
She just surrounds herself with people that tell her she's great all the time, so you just lose all perspective, you know?
What's that like?
Comedians do that too. Like comedians are really funny starting out. And that's how they get rich. Once they're rich, they surround themselves with people who are like, yeah, that's funny.
Who'd you
And
say
so
that
then they're
about?
not funny anymore.
Chevy Chase. That happened to Chevy Chase. It happened to Dane Cook. It happened to a lot of really great comics who just aren't funny until they realize that they've surrounded themselves with people who are just laughing at everything.
You remember how Dax Shepard was the unlikable person in that Dane Cook Dax Shepard movie,
Yeah.
the Superstore one?
I haven't seen it.
And then it took a turn. I love Dax Shepard.
I do too.
What was it called? It was because it had
Isabel.
Jessica Simpson in it too, who was sad because her ears were big or something.
Is that Good Luck Chuck?
no.
No.
'Cause I've
Employee
seen
of
Good
the
Luck Chuck.
month, something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, something. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
competing to be employee of the month
Yeah,
at
that's
this
what it was.
Walmart because that's great. Or
The
something.
only Dane Cook movie I've ever liked was the movie Waiting.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
And I like Dane Cook in the movie because he doesn't really talk much. He's just like a weird, quirky cook. Like the first time I think you see him, like the new employee's being introduced to everybody, and he like the guy brings him back into the kitchen. He's like, "Here's the cooks. This is whatever, and they point out Dane Cook, and Dane Cook just pulls a knife out and goes, "Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch."
That's what I would do.
Really funny. Anyway,
Yeah, so in this Employee of the Month movie, Jessica Simpson will only date the Employee of the Month.
because it's a stupid fucking movie.
Oh yeah, so they are
Absolutely
competing to
is.
be Employee of the Month. But like, who can get all the carts faster?
So
It's
pretty
stupid.
much, Employee of the Month reduces.
Tyler's about to be some feminist shit.
Forget it.
Employee of the
already.
month, Natalie. Please do not listen to this. Employee of the month
Hey,
reduces Jessica
nobody should
Simpson's
listen to
status
this.
to more or less just a better parking space.
Oh my god.
It took a while to get there.
Oh,
the patriarchy gets us all in the end.
Oh my
I do
God.
like how her flaw that made her more relatable was that her ears were too big, which
Okay.
is stupid.
Can we stop talking about Employee of the Month and talk about Jack Skellington?
Yeah, because we are seriously on the first scene. I wrote down, we're introduced to Sally and Wheelchair Guy.
Well, that's
I'm
in-
sorry, we're
Duckface.
introduced to Sally and
Wow.
Duckman.
Yeah, Duckface.
I don't know.
His wheelchair
guy.
does not define him.
It's a wheelchair or person first.
Do you think that he
Man in
created
Duckface
everyone in
defines
that
him.
Maybe he
realm?
did.
Because
No.
he created
No.
Sally.
He did create.
He did create Sally. That's
Yeah.
why she was.
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, she is his property.
I mean, he's
in his mind.
Frankenstein.
Since he could create whole people, and he makes reindeer and 3 people, that he couldn't fix his legs.
I know that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Oh
I
my
was very
gosh.
surprised by that.
This is
Physician, heal thyself.
Oh
No,
my God.
exactly. I don't think that's a bad thing to ask.
No,
If
maybe.
you-
not.
What is he
That's
doing?
Like Jack, he just can't see outside of his present circumstances.
Yeah, maybe he relies on that.
Yeah.
He likes being disabled.
He likes having people take care of him all the time. He likes being able to shame them for trying to poison him.
Yeah.
What is the point of poison in this realm where no one can die because everyone's already dead?
Well, it just made him sleep.
Made him
I know
sleep.
it puts him to sleep.
So she can get away for a while.
So pretty much,
So she can get away.
becomes
Have
Bill
some
Cosby
freedom.
every night, so she can go out with her friends.
He thinks he's so
like it.
funny.
I hope everyone heard my loud sigh.
But I mean, she more or less roofies him so she can leave.
She does.
Not
yeah.
that she should have to
He
do
is the
that.
true
but-
victim.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did
Oh,
talk
of
about that.
course.
This is the cycle of abuse.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, because
Tom
she has.
doesn't understand why she kept coming back.
Yeah,
Because she
could-
doesn't
She has
deserve
nowhere else to
better.
go.
Yeah.
It's her
like if
home.
you
She
were
thinks she
born
has nowhere else to go.
Exactly.
because she
In her
can't see
mind.
outside of her present circumstances.
Exactly.
If you were born into a house where you are always controlled by somebody else, that perception of control is all you know.
Oh my
and
God.
you don't see anything outside.
Halloween
Everyone
Town
in
is an
Halloween
emotional
Town-
prison.
I know.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is what I'm learning. Yeah. Halloween Town is a horrible
everybody
place.
knows that he made her, and they're gonna say, "Oh, well, why don't
Yeah.
you go back to Duckface?"
So I haven't
Right.
seen this
Go
movie.
back
Why don't you
home.
go back to
Exactly.
Duckface?
I haven't seen this
That's
movie
hilarious.
in years. So I was like, Jack sees her and says Sally, and I was like, Jack's never met her because the whole movie, I assume she's been locked in the tower
Right.
and no one ever sees her.
No, they know. They just
But
don't care.
They all know that she's kidnapped in this tower and no one cares.
But there's a guy walking around with a cleaver stuck out of his head, and nobody cares about that either.
mean, it's
Jack
Halloween
lit himself
Town.
on fire. Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah,
man.
but you know.
So
So
we watched
Jack
The
is
Nightmare
sad
Before
and-
Christmas.
9,000 hours later, Jack sings in the cemetery and is sad, and
Yeah, he's singing
Sally
it-
watches.
Yeah, so Sally is watching over him, and sort of this is where she sort of falls in love with him.
You don't
Right.
think she was in love with him before that?
I mean, I don't know.
She's
Maybe
obviously
she was.
attracted
but-
to power.
Oh yeah.
This
well,
is
she's
where,
a woman.
But this is
And she only knows the feeling of being controlled. She
Right.
just wants to be
Yeah,
controlled
she's a
by
woman.
more
and
attractive
so
man.
No one
when
controls
you
best
only know the
except the
feeling of
king.
being
Yeah.
controlled, you are attuned to someone's emotions, and you try to figure out how you can manipulate those emotions to survive on a
And
daily
Sally
basis.
does try to do
and
that.
she
Yeah, she
sees
does.
an emotion that she can work with when she sees that he's sad. So she's like, "Oh,
I can
and
do
here's my
something about
end.
this."
Yeah, maybe I don't have to poison this one."
Yep.
She does try to sabotage him later, though.
She does, yeah,
Yeah.
because
But it's
she
because she
in
knows
Sally's
that it's going to be a
defense-
disaster.
Yeah.
She does it to
Yes.
try to save everybody.
Yeah.
and because she knows he won't listen.
In
Yeah.
Sally's defense, though, he is the only boneable dude in this whole town.
That bone, I get it.
Yeah.
He's a skeleton.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
What's she gonna do? Like run away and go be with Melty Face?
yeah,
No.
or like Wolfman.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
thank you.
You know he likes it doggy style. So
Oh, geez.
in this scene, he's thinking about how melancholy he is, and then he walks off into the forest to some place he's never been before, and he sees all the holiday trees.
With
Mm-hmm.
Zero, of course.
well, yeah, of course he brings Zero along, who's his adorable dog.
But Zero is with him in the Sad Cemetery song.
That's
well, yeah.
when Zero comes out. He
Yeah.
pats
Yeah,
his
he
leg,
pats his
and
leg.
he comes out of his grave.
And it is really cool. I like Zero a lot.
They
and I
run
really
the-
liked this part. This is probably my
Yeah.
favorite part of the movie because I liked all the different trees with the holiday symbols on
yeah,
them.
the
Only
very
American
Yeah, I was
holidays,
about to say
though.
only American holidays.
There was a
And-
lot of potential to like go to the different towns.
I know, spin-offs. I wanted
yeah.
to see what Easterland looks like. And
Well, we
like-
get to see the bunny.
Valentine's Day.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so he sees the Christmas tree and he opens the Christmas tree door,
Mm-hmm.
and then he gets sucked into Christmas Town.
So if we could go to any of those other trees, which ones would you guys want to go to?
I would say Valentine's Day for me. Valentine's Day time. Yeah, everyone's getting down.
Yeah, I
Is
wanna
that
go
what's
Valentine's
happening
Day.
on
Oh
Valentine's
yeah,
Day?
everyone's
Like
eating like hard
conversation
heart
hearts?
candies. Yeah, and everyone
Maybe
is
tonight.
just boning.
Eating
But
hard
in St.
what?
Patrick's Day town, everybody's drinking beer.
Everyone's just
Yeah.
getting shit
And
faced and
puking
throwing up
everywhere.
on the
Drinking
street.
bangers. It's a
I
mash.
want to go to
It's a
Thanksgiving
drinking
Town,
eating
which is
event.
definitely a tree in there, just because
It was.
I want to know how shitty that town is.
Right?
Oh,
Thanksgiving
It's full of
town.
pilgrims.
It's just
Yeah.
people eating and killing Indians.
right?
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah,
And
it's just-
saying things they're thankful for.
It's just 100% manifest destiny all over that town.
and plague and corn.
That is an Andrew Jackson joke.
There's that 8th grade
He
knowledge
was
again.
horrible, huh?
There's that 8th grade knowledge again.
Was there a 4th of July one?
I didn't see a 4th
There,
of July
we don't
one, no,
directly see it, but there is the implication that there is a 4th of July
because of
one.
the implication.
What's the
Yeah.
implication?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw Thanksgiving.
Because there's a Valentine's Day and a St. Patrick's and a
Right.
Sure.
Because
there was
what,
like 8 of them.
what are the other? I think there's 7.
Jen,
home.
What?
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So he gets sucked into
Christmas Town.
right ass first. Do you see when he lands in the snow? He's like
He's
legs are
spinning on
in
his
the
butt.
air and he's spinning on his bony ass.
It's fun.
It's fun.
His like toothpick bony.
But this is my favorite song of the thing.
Stop looking for it.
Yeah, what's this? There's magic in the air. What's this? I love it. It's so great.
It is cool. It's
This
like
is
the
actually
magic
my
of
favorite
Christmas.
part of
Jack,
the
this isn't
whole
fair.
movie.
I like. Yeah, at one point, I was like, when do we go back to Christmas Town?
Because Christmas Town's better, and this should have just been a Christmas movie.
Christmas Town is 100% just Whoville.
yeah, it was inspired
But
by
I'm
Dr.
fine
Seuss.
with- yeah, of course. But I loved it. It's great. This is the song where you clearly understand that coming from Halloween Town and being the Pumpkin King, he has no idea what Christmas is.
Right.
He knows nothing about it.
But it's different and it's new and it's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, ooh, how
He's
can
like,
I
this
ruin
is-
It
this?
improved by
Yeah.
making it creepy as hell.
Yeah, and he does.
Which
He
I'm
does.
okay with.
And that's where he gets his plans to do what he does in the movie,
ruin
which
Christmas.
is I mean, in his
Steal
mind,
Christmas. This is basically like the Grinch, only Jack has followers.
I don't know.
And he has it. It's like because the Grinch tried to ruin Christmas.
Yeah, the
because it
intent's
made
different.
him mad.
Yeah.
and Jack has a good heart and wants to do good things.
And he just wants to make it better. See, I
He just
agree with
wants to
that.
make it
I
better.
don't think he has a good
I think
heart.
he wants to steal and destroy
From
the
his
joy of others
perspective,
because
he
he
has a
can't
good heart.
You
understand
cannot
their joy.
kidnap Santa Claus and hold him against his will.
Yeah.
And then
Claus, lock him up real tight. Sorry.
you can't justify that with your good heart.
Well, but
Or your song.
He said,
Yeah.
No, okay. You can justify it though when you're
Oh,
Jack
please.
because he thought that he was giving him a break. He's like, "Here, I got this."
He
Man.
wants to send him on
I'm
vacation.
Gonna make this.
But like
Okay,
Jack always
He's
does, didn't
unfulfilled
really
with
ask
his
opinion.
Halloween-ness.
And so he thinks
He's
that
like,
Santa
oh, here you
Claus
go.
must obviously want a break too. So
I want to
here,
go
I'll
get
take this and
tortured
make
in
it
a
better.
Ooga Booga land.
Jack,
Yeah, because
Jack
that's
and Halloween
awesome.
Town have a
Right.
real big problem with consent.
They do.
They
Yeah.
do. They do. But in 1993, pretty much everybody. did.
No, but this
Right.
is another sign that Jack is a narcissist because he meets another king and was like, he obviously feels the same as I do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm going to solve his
Absolutely.
problem that doesn't exist.
He doesn't meet him, but yeah, ultimately.
He sees him.
Yeah, he sees him. But he doesn't really want Santa Claus to take over Halloween.
Sandy Claus.
Sandy Claus, sorry.
Is that what he calls him?
Yeah, Sandy
Oh,
Claus,
geez.
because he thinks his last name is Claus, like
Oh.
vicious Claus.
Like claws on a cat.
Yeah,
He
or on a
says he
tiger or whatever.
flies through the night like a vulture in the night.
Because
like,
Yeah.
that's from
That's
the
what-
lens that he's looking
Exactly.
through.
Yeah, exactly.
He sees
But he-
everything through Halloween.
But he fundamentally does not understand Christmas.
No, he
But he
doesn't.
thinks he's making it better by what he's doing. Unlike the Grinch, who just wants to destroy it.
Yeah,
he
and
wants to
end
make it better.
And he does try to study what happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this the next scene when he comes back to town?
No, I don't
No,
think so.
there's-
Okay.
Because then
there's
we
nothing
have a
between
little
that.
Sally and Duck Man thing.
Oh yeah, this is where we learn more
Where she's
about
trying
how
to poison
Sally
him.
is sort of a prisoner to Duckface.
There's no sort of.
I mean, no, she is. She's like
Yeah.
Rapunzel. I think of her as like a Rapunzel at this point in the
Yeah.
movie. Just no long hair and no prince trying to save her. Agony.
I was so gonna just
I know.
So this guy, this
You know
Duckman
that
guy,
she go
No to you if there only were doors. I love Agony, dude. Sondheim's the man.
Yeah, he is.
Not a Sondheim.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
Dr. Duckman, who can
Dr. Duckface, excuse
Can
me.
He didn't go to
to
8 years of Dr. Duck evil face
Yeah.
medicine.
he has got to
Wow. I love how that
Dr.
joke.
Duckface
I
even
love how
face
that joke went off the rails as you were saying it.
I was so excited I was going to say.
So Dr. Duckface can create people, but he doesn't want to make his own soup
But he
maker.
made a person to make his soup for him. Duh.
You could
Yeah.
just make like a,
I mean,
an Instapot.
If you make somebody who makes your soup, didn't you make the soup?
Oh,
shit.
This is why Jen, whenever like her kids do like chores, she's like, "No, I did the chores."
I did do the This house runs because of me. Which is actually true. 'Cause that's
By
how
the
you
way,
can tell.
there's a foot fetish in this movie.
Well, it's
You think-
Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie is into feet in a very real and uncomfortable
Oh,
way.
when I get into feet, that's the word that I say. I say oogie boogie.
Oogie Boogie.
When do you get into feet?
Fourth date.
Gross.
What's this? What's this? There's semen everywhere. What's this? What's this? It's getting in my hair. What's this?
Gross.
Real
It's
gross.
like your Indians.
Where are we?
Are we on the third scene yet?
Probably.
No, he's in Christmas Town.
So then he comes back and they have the town meeting.
Yeah, well, because the mayor had been looking for him.
Because he is
this is not
incapable
hugely
of planning
important.
Halloween.
Right.
He is
Yeah.
only an elected official.
Right, but this isn't
Yeah.
hugely important. But there's it's known throughout the land of Halloween Town that Jack is missing. And then he
Yes.
comes back and the mayor's like, where have you been? And he's like, I want to tell everybody, call a town meeting. When? Now! Remember?
He's only been gone a day.
Yeah,
I know, but
'cause there's
if your king
364
leaves
They are
and he
so
never leaves.
codependent.
See, this whole town is just emotionally unhealthy.
Okay, and like the day
Sure.
after Halloween, take a break.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to start planning. What are
Yeah.
you going to do different? Like,
Well,
you're
yeah,
going to carve
sure.
a green pumpkin this
Well,
year?
it's become monotonous, and that's why he
Yes.
wants.
And so
something
they need
different.
him to try to distract them from the monotony, and then he leaves. But then he comes back and he explains Christmas to them.
Well,
Or
no,
tries
he
to explain.
tries, yeah.
But he
Because-
doesn't understand Christmas.
No, he has no idea what he's
'Cause
talking
he can't
about,
see
really.
outside of his present
And
circumstances.
he realizes that the only way to figure out Christmas is to apply the scientific method.
Yes, and this was
And this is when he goes to Duckface Killer.
there was a real fine line I was walking between this is really funny and this is really stupid. And I kept crossing over that line on either side. And I was like, okay, when he like sprinkles the ornament into and the thing turns green.
When he turns it to like glitter
Yeah.
dust.
And then when he cuts the like snowflake that was the spider, like some of that I thought was really cool and some of it was like, oh my
cute.
gosh. That's when I first started asking how much longer the movie was going to last.
Aww.
And it doesn't seem like science is really applied to anything else in Halloween Town.
Well, when you can take parts of your body on and off at will,
Yeah, they kind
doesn't
of
really matter.
breach the laws of science.
They're all dead.
Yeah, I don't know if they are all
The
dead.
witches aren't dead because they're just witches.
Right. I mean, but there are large
the
portions of the town
vampires
that
are
are
undead.
undead for sure.
Yeah.
And Jack is one of those that is already
One guy's
dead.
a wolf. How does that
I
happen?
think
He's the
I think
wolf
it's
man.
pronounced Vampound.
I'm not doing that. I'm not having this conversation again.
That is a trick or treat
Trick
reference.
or treat.
Oh, such a bad movie. Yeah, so he's doing all the science shit
Science.
and he thinks he's
Doing some
figuring
weird
out what
science.
Christmas is.
He just doesn't understand Christmas?
Yeah, because like
No.
Jesus is even
Does he
mentioned.
understand
Oh my
Halloween?
God.
He understands Halloween. That's
Of course.
all he knows.
He's the
I know,
pumpkin
but I
king.
just don't-
No,
Okay.
I don't feel like trick or treating or like being nice and like fun. I don't feel like they had the real meaning of Halloween in Halloween Town.
Well,
Well, it was based on German expressionism, so maybe not.
Wow, nerd alert!
No, it wasn't.
Oh my god.
They don't even talk about scaring people.
No.
They don't, because who are you going to scare? Are you going to scare everybody?
Well, okay, so here's my question that they don't answer in the movie. During Halloween, or during Christmas, Santa leaves Halloween Town and goes into the earth,
Yeah,
or goes into
yeah,
the
yeah,
world,
yeah.
right?
This is my question.
So
Yeah.
in Halloween, does Jack and all the witches
Yes.
and the wolf, do they go into the
they
earth?
go haunt everybody.
And then, okay.
And that's why they had those 3 trick-or-treaters who were devious and they tricked
They were like
people and stuff.
minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel
Yeah.
like
But
we
they go
missed
out-
a
But they
lot
were like
as an
adventurers.
audience by
Yeah.
not being shown what Halloween Town does on Halloween.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so and here's why I think that people really connect to this movie a lot is because they're not really in Halloween Town. They're not really trying to scare each other. They're just kind of celebrating their weirdness and accepting each other for who they are. And I do really like that.
Yeah.
I just don't like what a lot of them look like.
Are they celebrating each other, or are
They
they
kinda
enabling and
are.
keeping each other down?
Well, that's true. Yes, they are oppressing each other, but lots of like they don't like shame other people for being like vampires
yeah,
or like
okay, so they
you
don't
know,
judge on appearance. or-
Exactly. They
Look at
seem
that
to.
guy. He
does.
sucks.
No one likes melty face.
Did you say he sucks to the vampires? Was
Yeah.
that your joke?
Oh,
I got it.
that's
Oh,
I got
good
it.
job, Tom.
Anyway, so while Jack is doing science, Sally Nightshade's Duckface,
Gives Jack a bottle of champagne and a fish.
Well, it's like,
a fish
yeah.
bones, but yeah. So she like pulleys it up to where Jack's window is, and he gets it, and then looks down, and she's gone.
She has to go back to Duckface.
No, she just goes off and hides.
Oh, does
She's there till morning
I didn't
because you see the vampires coming out singing, and as the sun comes up, they have to go away because they're
Again,
vampires.
I say it's because she wants him to come after her.
Yeah, she wants to be chased.
She's laying a thirst
But
trap.
he's too. Yeah, that is a thirst trap for sure.
Yeah, when you
I'm a redhead and I cook.
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking about Sally.
Is she a redhead?
no,
yeah.
she's not.
She's got red hair.
her hair may have been red when she was still alive.
Definitely black.
It's not red; it's brown. And she poisons people when she cooks.
Yeah, that's
She's not
what
laying
I
a good
do.
thirst
She
trap.
doesn't. She doesn't
All she
poison
got was
everybody.
duck face.
It's
Yeah.
a good thirst trap for Halloween Town, though.
That's true.
Well, she's only poisoning Duckface so
Did
she
you
can
get her a
leave.
man?
Look,
Yeah.
she's
does
got
stuff
red
with
hair.
Potions. Okay, yeah, she does.
She
kinda
has
have
red hair.
It just didn't look very red. I usually identify with gingers in movies. I didn't realize that Sally and I were.
I don't think
Of
she
the
has
same
red
ilk.
hair.
I don't
She
think-
1000%. Oh my God.
You want me to dress up like Sally?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I'd be all right with that.
Okay.
I am feverishly
So she sits
masturbating
out-
while listening to this podcast.
Why do you always say feverishly masturbating?
Yeah, he does
why
like that
does
turn of
always-
phrase.
Like you've broken a sweat. I get it.
Because he's always, it's because he's always doing
This guy knows what I'm talking about. This guy knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's a guy thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a guy thing for some. Oh, never mind.
So he does all this science because he
goes-
thinks he can make it better.
Yeah.
And that's his attempt. So he then.
But he can't. He can't figure it out. So what he
Right.
decides to do is just steal
Take over it.
Halloween. He's just
Yeah.
gonna jack
not
all
gonna-
over Christmas.
Yeah. At that point, does he call a town meeting and tell them his
Oh my
plan?
God, that
Oh,
was
he calls so many town
45
meetings.
minutes ago.
No. I mean, but like,
Oh,
after he
there's
does the
another
science-
town meeting.
I
Maybe
think-
I stopped paying attention.
He starts
He starts
divvying up the
bringing
tasks.
everybody
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah,
and
Yeah, I
telling
can't
them,
remember how he
you
brings
guys
everyone
do
in.
This. This
Yeah.
is the song. This is how Jingle Bells goes. Do you
Because
think
they're
you can
planning to
approve on
kidnap
that?
Santa.
Oh, yeah, and they
You
put it in the
make
minor
these
key.
reindeer.
And
Yeah.
they want to
Oh
make
my-
Sally to make him a Santa Claus suit and a coat.
Yes.
All I need
Sally's
is a
like-
reindeer.
And that's when
he
she's
smiled
trying
with a
to
frown.
tell him it's not going to work because when she
Right.
was sitting down there, she had picked up the little thing and it
What did
turned
she pick
Christmassy,
up?
and then it
It was like a twig,
Yeah.
but it turned
Or
into
what-
Christmas and then died
How did it turn into Christmas?
through the power of love. You'll find it one day, Mikey.
Oh.
I want a girl to make a Christmas tree that catches on fire for me.
Okay.
And that's why
I'm really
that's
relating
when
to this.
she's trying to talk to him and he's not listening. She's trying to be
Why
like, no,
would he?
It's
I've
not
been
gonna
there.
work. She's saying it's not
He
gonna work.
does
It's
not
not
wanna
gonna work.
hear
And
it.
he's like, no.
She says, "This is not going to work, Jack."
Who
Yeah.
else can
Michael,
make
this isn't
going
gonna
to
work.
It's going to be great. You're going to make the best suit. And she's like, no, it's going to be a disaster. And
Yeah.
he thinks she's
You're
talking
stupid,
about her own
Jack.
work.
But
And
he's
it's
not listening to her because, you know, one of them is royalty and one of them was created
Was a
by
woman.
Duckface. So
Yeah.
Woo.
Also,
Were you singing Duck?
Ducktales?
I've done that every time we talked about Duckface. You guys just recognize
So they kidnap Santa, but first they kidnap the Easter Bunny. And it's
so
real sad.
the three little minions think they captured Sandy Claus.
because he tells them to go get
Yes.
Sandy Claus.
Yeah.
And keep him away from that no count Oogie Boogie.
Which they do the opposite,
They do the
right?
opposite.
well, when they actually capture Santa
They just-
Claus.
Yeah,
he
they
does
bring
not
the-
run a very tight
They're-
ship.
Well, and they're bad minions. He doesn't
Right.
oversee. He just, I don't know. I'd argue that he's a good supervisor.
No, he's not.
He tells them what to do and then just trusts his employees to do it.
Well, that's true,
Well, and
but
they
you have
said
to have
what's
some.
more comfortable than Oogie Boogie. Like they
Yeah.
think that that's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Because they're
Because
dumb.
they're Halloween people.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
don't know what it's like in Christmas Town because they've never been there.
I don't think
Well, I guess
Jack's
they
a
have
good
been
leader.
there.
Jack's not a good leader.
I don't think he is either.
That's fair. All right, so what happens after that? Okay, so they kidnap Sandy Claus or Santa Claus.
Yes.
They take him to Oogie Boogie.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack steals his hat and then rides off on his coffin sleigh.
Yeah.
And starts delivering
something
presents.
about a fog trap.
Yeah, okay, so
Yes.
Sally, at this point, Sally is now trying to sabotage Jack because she knows it's not going to work.
And she knows he won't listen.
Right.
So she's trying to manage
Well,
him
it's not that she
from
knows.
afar.
Well, I mean, okay, I don't think that Sally has tried to talk to him.
Yes.
She has.
About this. So I don't think that she's just doing this because she doesn't think he'll listen. She knows he
he
doesn't
won't listen.
listen.
Right, because she has tried.
Right. So she's now at level of sabotage to try and get him to stop because there's no way talking to him is going to work. I don't think she's doing anything wrong,
She
is what I'm
didn't really
saying.
talk loud. She did the whole quietly sing thing again.
Well, yeah,
That's what
she's
she's been trained to do.
Yeah.
She has no other frame
Yep.
of reference.
right. But anyway, so it's really foggy, and then Zero comes with his jack-o'-lantern nose and lights the way like Rudolph.
Right.
And then
Pretty
Sally
good
sings to her
foreshadow.
cat.
She has a little black kitty.
Yeah, she got a little kitty.
Let's call him Binks.
So then Jack delivers presents to
From
the.
Sabrina?
No, baby.
What is it from?
From Hocus Pocus.
That's it.
No, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen Hocus Pocus?
Oh my god.
It's so good.
talked about
good.
this.
Hocus
I put a
Pocus is
spell
really
on
good.
you.
So Sally Sad sings to her cat, and
Yeah, what is
Every
she?
single girl's.
Yeah.
I have sung to my cats a fair few times.
How many cats do you have?
I don't want to say because I'm not allowed to have as many in my apartment as I have.
oh no, that's the same cat you saw yesterday. I don't have two of them.
Jack is delivering
Jack
quote
goes
unquote
to the real
presents.
world, yes, and
Yeah.
the real world is very orderly and symmetrical. That's the different.
That's the kind of
aesthetic
world
for
I
that.
like.
Well,
I
and
know.
he is,
I know. I'm safe with my emotions there.
and he and he is delivering presents like Santa Claus is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So people are expecting presents, and they keep coming out and seeing
Shrunken heads.
right, shrunken heads, or the snake
Which
that's
is
eating the Christmas tree.
Both from Beetlejuice.
Oh, the snake and the head?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just a lot of shit going on, or a lot of shit going wrong.
I just wrote
And-
down trouble
Yeah, more or less.
because I
And-
kind of stopped panicking.
And people are calling the cops to
This scene
report
is
their bad
pretty
presence.
boring.
And the military gets deployed. on
Right.
him.
You would think a scene where Santa Claus gets bombed by the military would be more exciting.
That's the world we live in.
I know.
This movie sucks.
It's just like the Friday Night News.
I don't like this movie.
I like this movie,
This
but
is the
I respect
climax of the movie, and it's the most boring part of the movie.
What?
So he gets bombed,
This is
and
where-
then
Yeah.
he
Yeah, so he gets blown out of the sky by flak guns.
And then he has
Yeah.
an insight. Oh, maybe I could just be Jack Skeleton. Because
And he falls
down
on
onto
an
the
angel.
Bible.
Yeah, he lands on
Angel
an angel and then discovers the importance of being himself.
yeah, but
only
also
after he fails doing what he does.
the importance
Well,
of
he-
being himself, but accepting other people and accepting
Yeah,
that
so I
somebody
think
else
he-
might have a strength that he doesn't.
I don't
Right,
think that's
so
in that song.
Stick
I don't
to
think
your
any of that
niche.
is in that song.
Right.
Right, so I think he realizes that he's not making Christmas better. What he does well is Halloween, and he should stay in his fucking
Or they
lane.
could do a
Right.
collaboration. They didn't even explore it.
They should be like Dre and Tupac.
Yeah.
Yeah, like California Love, man, all day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only part I
Welcome
know.
everybody to the Kris Kringle. I'm gonna stop. Every rap should be to the Doogie Howser theme song. Oh my god, that was such a weird moment,
I know, it was awesome.
and we're involved in the strangest early '90s lawsuit ever.
Right. Just all the sweaters, man. I don't even know what that means, but okay, so then I wrote down he gets bombed, he falls on an angel, learns to be himself. We
Yeah,
already
yeah,
agreed
and
with
then-
that.
and-
his heart grew 3 sizes in the arms of that angel.
This is sort of the Grinch realization moment, sure,
Yeah.
but I think he just realizes that he is not making Christmas better. He
Right.
needs to go get Santa and let Santa finish Christmas.
Does he say that?
No, well, he sort of sings
sings a
that.
bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what the
Y'all
song's
sing it.
about.
Y'all were talking
what words
during
in the
that
song were...
Welcome to my world.
The whole song he's talking about that.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
even says again, all right, Jack the Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After he got shot out of the sky. Like,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yes, but this is when he has that moment.
He's
I
like,
mean,
oops,
sometimes-
I did it again.
He's such a
I fucked
douchebag.
up Christmas.
Got
I'm-
lost in the
Oh, I don't like
Ooh,
that.
someone
Baby.
find Santa. Ooh, sorry, let's stop.
I don't want to sing the real song.
Let him sing
From above, I deliver presents. So
I
yeah,
feel like we've landed on the parody version of that song.
we're workshopping it, guys. We'll figure it
Christmas
out.
presents at home. They're under my tree. They're wrapped with paper. Oh, Christmas, Christmas.
This is a long
I'm
song.
not Kris Kringle.
But see, the thing is that Jack thought that everybody was going to love what he did.
Yes.
He was like,
Yes,
everybody
he
loves
because
thinks
he's a
he's right
narcissist.
about
Right,
everything.
that's the thing.
Absolutely.
So he doesn't realize that, oh my God, they didn't like it until they shoot him out of the sky. So that's why he has the realization.
He even says they're shooting at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the
The Pumpkin King, yeah.
Yeah, so he realizes that other people might be better at something than he
Yeah.
is, like narcissists think.
Yes.
He realizes, hey, maybe I'm not the best thing in the world.
At everything.
Exactly.
But
maybe
that's when he-
other people can have this.
And that's when he goes through the mausoleum back to Halloween Town. And then he goes to Oogie Boogie's.
he
And
goes to
finds
Oogie
Santa.
Boogie, but not until Sally has
Sally.
ripped her leg
Well,
off.
Sally's
and like,
trying to
Sally's
save.
trying to
yeah.
rescue him.
Sally's
So
trying
her
to
leg's
foot
down
move
there.
him.
This is
Her
where we
leg's
found out he's got a
down
foot
there,
fetish.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
her leg is,
Because
enticing
when you see
him.
a leg,
and her hands.
what you want to do is just go over and tickle it immediately.
Well, yeah.
there are
What
lots
does
of
he
men
say?
that do.
He says ooga boogie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why his name is
And then
that.
she sends her hands down to
Her hands
untie
untie
Santa
him.
Claus. And, well,
And she's
but
up at the top.
Yeah, she's trying to save him while Jack is delivering presents.
And
Like
I
she's
think I have
always trying to
seen
help.
this scene before, like completely out of context, and I was like,
What is
What?
happening?
what's going
What?
on? And I
This
think
is,
that's
this is when your ex-boyfriends are trying to explain their foot fetish to you. They were like, so how would you feel about being Oogie
Right.
Boogie?
I'm gonna do oogie boogie.
and I answered their question by watching Saw with them.
Okay, all I could think of was Ariel
Ariel.
and Sebastian. Not Ariel.
Although Oogie Boogie does sort of sound like Sebastian.
Well, she just said kiss the girl, so I was
Oh.
thinking.
Kiss the girl.
No, this is a serial killer.
I
who,
do like that Jack was like, I should get Santa and release him.
The Santa is always better when he stays in
Somebody
his
else
own
is.
lane. You think about going up there, that shit is real
really-
insane. Just look at the Halloween around you, right here in Halloween Town. What wonderful things are around you. I'm gonna stop. Can we move
Your
on with
reindeers
the
are
book?
skeletons.
Halloween Town. Halloween Town. Don't go to Christmas. You ruin it for everyone. You piece of shit narcissist.
I
So
think it fell
close.
apart at the end.
Oh, come on. I worked so hard.
So anyway, I like Jack for deciding that he wanted to release Santa because
Well, he wanted
Yeah.
to save Santa.
wanted to make it right.
Yeah.
So they're
He's like, oh, Christmas has to be Christmas and
Right.
not Halloween.
Oogie, because we need balance in our lives.
Yes.
Oogie Boogie wants to try to put them in some kind of big blender soup or something.
I wasn't really
Yeah.
sure about Oogie Boogie's whole deal. What was his motivation?
It's feet.
Absolutely. But no, he's just the boogeyman. So he's just trying to like
the bad
scare
guy.
them and be
Oogie
bad.
boogeyman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
'Cause
it.
The boogeyman does nothing except for scare people. That's
Yeah.
his whole existence.
And I did like, yeah, he gets power from your fear like Freddy Krueger.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jack has to fight Oogie Boogie
Oogie
to
Boogie.
save Sally and Santa Claus.
And he rips
Santa
off
Claus.
and he rips off his clothes and reveals all the
His
bugs
sack.
underneath. Yeah.
Well, no, this is when I started singing the Weezer song because he
Did you start singing the Weezer
Yeah.
song?
He did start singing.
Yeah,
the
He
Weezer.
did
that was
start
me.
doing that.
And then we continued it.
Yeah.
He
Tears
pulls
off
the
sweater.
thread while
His
Oogie
sack.
Boogie floats away, and then to reveal just the maggots underneath. And he saves Santa Claus and Sally.
And then Santa is pissed. Santa's
Well,
not
yes,
going to let
Santa's
him
Well,
like,
go.
he
stay in
should
your
be.
lane,
He
douche.
should be.
Yeah.
And did the Easter Bunny ever get back to Easter?
Yeah, they
Yes.
took the Easter
Okay.
Bunny back.
Oh,
He made
that's
it.
right.
Yeah.
They
Cute
put
little
him back
pink
in the
bunny.
sack.
They did. They brought him
He
back.
jumps back in the sack.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Oh.
was scared.
Yeah.
He was scared.
The sack's the only thing he's ever known.
Well, in that land it is. But
I
they
believe
do
he deserved
they
better.
do take the Easter Bunny back.
Yeah.
And then Santa goes back and he rights all
He
the
just gets
wrongs that
sucked
Jack
up into
did.
the sky or something.
With his magic. And
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
if he had this
He is
magic all
sparkly,
along,
but,
why
like,
was he not
propels
using
him
it?
into the-
Because then Jack wouldn't have learned the lesson.
And
Yeah.
maybe that's what we needed
And maybe
to know. Yeah.
that's his
Maybe
Christmas
nothing
gift.
makes sense in this movie.
That's
Maybe
the Christmas
he had to have
gets.
his hat because Jack had his hat. The
That's
whole time.
true.
Ah.
Maybe it's a Frosty the Snowman situation,
Right.
and without his hat, he's not magic.
Maybe.
He's just a fat dude with scoliosis.
Maybe this
really
movie
short
just kind of
arms.
Yeah.
sucks.
And the best boxers
Maybe
ever.
you suck,
bing,
my
bing,
baby.
He's still sad
Either
about
way,
it.
he puts his hat back on, and now having his magic, and he goes up into the sky, and he rights all the wrongs.
Except for the parents that are dead.
They're not dead. Well, he does correct the gift and pat him on his head and say, "You're welcome, Bruce." Wink. See you in a few years. Winky blinky.
In a few years.
Bruce
Batman.
When he
Wayne, his
becomes
parents are
Batman?
dead. Yeah.
Oh. Is that what that is?
Yeah, he's making a Batman
Well,
joke.
I mean, he had just directed Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
See,
And was
it all
work-
connects.
It
And was
does.
currently
It
working
does
on Batman
connect.
Returns.
Yes, which
Yeah.
is a horrible movie.
It is horrible.
So
Yeah.
Santa saves Christmas, and then it sort of ends with Jack and Sally admitting that they love each
Well, it
other.
starts snowing
They've
in
never
Halloween
talked to
Town.
each
In the
other.
graveyard.
They've never had an actual conversation.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
it does.
They have.
It does start snowing in Halloween Town. You're right.
Yeah. I'm on
And they,
Santa
obviously,
suit?
and they had obviously talked before the Santa.
There was
suit.
definitely like a playful flirtation before that, sure, and they
she
did talk
bullied him up
some.
bottles of wine with
Yeah.
butterflies in
Yeah.
them.
So it snows in Halloween Town. Everyone's making like snow angels, and they're like playing with the snow.
You're like, what's this?
And-
It was like,
yeah, it's the
There's
reprise of
something
the
in
"What's
the
This" song,
air.
which is my
Santa
favorite song.
bestowed the snow upon them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is when Jack and Sally go to the graveyard and kind of admit their love for each other, and then
Yes.
that's the movie.
Silhouette of the moon.
Yes.
All right, and that's the movie.
The best part about Sally is she can just take that part off and leave it at home for Jack,
Gross.
and it's dishwasher safe.
How do you know it's dishwasher safe?
I mean, she's like made out of fabric. How would it be
Yeah.
dishwasher safe?
With autumn leaves
maybe
inside of her.
hand wash and hang to dry.
You got to woolite that shit.
You got to be careful with it, yeah.
You're delicate.
Like veal
Yes.
cutlets.
Yeah.
Can you believe we've been doing this podcast as long as we have? Like,
I
we've been doing it
know.
over 6 months.
I know. Yeah.
That's amazing that we've lasted that long with how crazy you are.
I know.
And how narcissistic you are.
Absolutely. I am Jack.
Obviously,
You
I'm
definitely are
Sally
zero,
'cause
yeah.
I'm a ginger.
Yeah. Although you didn't know she was a ginger until I
Are
said
you the
that.
mayor?
You can be the mayor.
I'll be the mayor and you be Zero.
Okay. I like Zero. He's lovable. I don't want to be Sally. So
I had some friends in San Diego.
I've been Sally for all
I've
my
been
life.
Sally. I might as well be Sally.
All right, so let's talk box office. This movie was stop motion, right? Made in
Yes.
93. Danny Elfman did the music. I mean, there's
Yep.
a lot of big names in this, right?
Big names now.
Danny Elfman was a pretty big
He was
name
a
then.
big name then,
yeah.
yeah.
So I honestly do think Danny Elfman was probably the biggest name in this.
I would say.
He's not the actor that voices Jack. He's
No,
the
he's
actor
the
that
singer.
sings for Jack.
Do you know who the actor that voices
I
Jack
don't
is?
know, actually.
Chris Sarandon,
Oh, really?
Child's Play actor, and
Yeah.
Fright Night.
And is that Susan Sarandon's brother?
I don't know if we ever verified that.
I remember us saying that a lot
I
in the
know.
Chucky episode.
And then just never checking it.
Oh, yeah. Why would we
But
check?
we also said that movie is a single location podcast, and it is. We are 100% right about that.
So this movie cost $18 million to make, and when it originally was out, it made right at $50 million in box office, which is pretty good. $50
That sounds
million.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But they've re-released it a few times.
This movie's got legs.
It does. And there's like a cult following that really loves this movie. So it has, over the course of its run, like it was released again in 2000, 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2009. So with all those re-releasings, it's made $75 million is the lifetime gross. And it made a shitload in DVD and stuff sales. And so it's made a lot of money. Of course, this is a very,
Yeah.
it's very
They
big
re-release it
in
every
pop
Christmas.
culture. Yeah. So it makes money.
Which is funny because Disney did not want to release it at first. They had Touchstone release it because they were afraid it would terrify kids.
Well, and they had hired Tim Burton like in the 80s or something like that, and then he put something out, and then they fired him because it was too much and too scary, and then they brought him back later.
Yeah.
And he was writing this, I think, he was inspired to write this while he was working for Disney, and then had gotten fired. And so he wrote a poem about this.
Are we doing Jen's fun facts?
Yeah, are we done with box
Yeah,
office?
let's do Jen fun
Yeah,
facts.
so he was inspired by being at a store and watching them change the decorations and the merchandise from Halloween over to Christmas.
Oh,
And so,
September 30th.
yeah, exactly. That's national
No,
change.
that's when Halloween starts.
It's September 30th, but Christmas starts October 30th.
And so we can talk about the production of this too, because it's kind of one of those poltergeist situations where this was Tim Burton's concept and his story. And my husband Corey actually showed me a picture of Tim Burton's Halloween costume when he was
Yep.
a kid. Have
It
you
looks
seen
just
that?
like Jack
Looks
Skellington.
just like Jack Skellington. So this is kind of like like his
This is his fever dream.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
His childhood fever dream.
His
And
feverish dream.
Yes.
And so he pitched this and he kind of directed the beginning of it, and then Henry Selick took it over because he had just directed Batman and he was about to work on Batman Returns, and so he didn't have enough time to like move this clay thing an inch and then move it another inch. And he was also in pre-production for Ed Wood, so he didn't have enough time to direct it. So Henry Selick, who's the
Ooh,
director,
I actually liked Ed Wood.
I haven't seen that,
I haven't
but I've
seen it
heard
either.
good things about
It's
it.
actually
Henry Selick, interestingly enough, Tom Selleck's younger brother.
Is that true?
No.
I love Tom Selleck though. 3
You
Minute
would.
Baby.
So give us some more fun facts.
Yeah, so Henry Selick said he looked at it like Tim Burton laid the egg and then he sat on the egg and developed it. And he said that and there's kind of a little controversy about who really owns the project or like really the concept of it. And he said that Tim Burton was really only there like 8 or 9 days of the whole 3 years of this production. So it was really Henry Selick developing everything. Apparently, Tim Burton was so mad about something that he kicked a hole in the wall when he found out the story was going that way. But I can't remember what that part was. So we said Chris Sarandon was Jack. We said Catherine O'Hara was Sally, who is the mom from Home Alone. Did you guys know who the voice of Duckman is?
No.
He is Uncle Lewis from Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
The guy who burns the tree with his big cigar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
funny?
That dude's
Yeah.
a Christmas movie legend.
I know. So when I IMDb'd him, it showed a young picture of him, and it took me a minute to figure out who he was.
Well, because the young picture was in black and white. It was like a
It
Civil
was in
War
black and
photo.
white.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Because he's old as shit in Christmas Vacation, and that
Oh,
was
yeah.
like the late 80s. I think it's 89.
Mm-hmm.
they may have aged him up a little bit, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but he was older.
The blessing.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart does the beginning narration. So they tried to get Vincent Price and James Earl Jones for the
Ooh,
narration.
Simba.
And I don't know why
Vincent
they couldn't
Price would
get
be good.
James Earl Jones.
Vincent Price would have been great. I mean, he was too busy speaking some
Do you want to
bridge in
know
an
what
R&B
really
song.
happened?
Was he doing the Thriller?
No, his wife had just died. And he
Oh,
was
no,
in,
I feel horrible.
Yeah, and he was in
Oh, my
poor health, and his
God.
narrate he actually did some of it, and it was just his voice was too weak to do it.
That's so sad.
I know it is sad.
They fired him? I wouldn't have told him. I'd be like, we recorded the whole thing.
Yeah, and just wait till he died to release the movie.
Yep, because I'm too nice.
That is passive aggressive.
Oh.
It's not aggressive, it's just passive.
That's what happens when you're
Passive
raised in
niceness is
Dr.
really the-
Duckface's science lab. Sorry. Okay. I don't know why James Earl Jones didn't work out. Oh, but I thought you would appreciate this. So this came out at the same time as the Disney's Three Musketeers.
Oh, I love
And so
that
it was
movie.
in competition, and that's why this one didn't do that well, because they didn't have enough
The Leonardo
confidence.
DiCaprio one?
No, that's
that's
Man in
the
the Iron
Man
Mask,
in the
and
Iron-
also great.
Yeah.
This is the one with
Chris O'Donnell as
Kiefer
Darth
Sutherland. Yeah, and Kiefer Sutherland.
It's
and
Save
Charlie
the
Sheen.
Cake.
I don't remember.
It's been a while since we've said that. on
Have
the
you not
podcast.
seen it?
It's
been a
real
while since I've
good.
seen
Oliver Platt as Porthos.
I do love
No,
that.
I have
Is
seen
Rebecca
that.
De Mornay
Amazing.
in that?
I love her.
I don't know. She's
I
a
feel
woman.
like
I don't
she
pay attention to the women. But
That is
yeah.
a lie. You pay very close attention to the women.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I love the Three
so
Musketeers, though.
That's good.
I do too. And it had, I thought this was interesting. So they had the new trailer for The Lion King, and they could have shown it in front of this, but they chose to give it to Three Musketeers. And it was the first trailer for Lion King, which is just the beginning song. I love The Lion King.
Do you have any more fun facts, Jen?
Yeah, I do. Okay, about the stop motion. They had 227 puppets. So for every second of film, they had like 12 different shots. So it
Every
took
second?
forever to do this.
I'm sure. If I learned anything from Parks and Recreation, it's that stop motion is very tedious.
How can it
and
not be
takes forever.
longer?
Stand. I also did learn that the director of this movie, while they were shooting these scenes, invented a board game called The Cones of Dunshire.
When do you go back to work? I love Parks and Rec. I can quote
So
so much
good.
of that. Okay, so they had 100 people and 3 years to make this.
Jesus.
Was it 12 stop motion moves for every second of filming? And
I mean, that's actually less than like 30 frames a second. Like that's normally what movies are shot on, or sometimes 60 frames a second
oh, I don't know.
is pretty common now.
But it looks seamless.
It does
You
look
know?
good. Like the stop
it's
motion
not
looks
Really good
great.
job.
Yeah,
But 12 frames
It's
a second's
not
pretty
like
slow.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was.
right. Like
But
the
that's like
claymation.
the 50s, right? 50s or
Did you say
60s?
30? Were you going to say 30s?
No, 50s or 60s.
Yeah, I think
Old
it was
timies?
What's
somewhere
old
around
timey?
there.
I think it may have
Yeah.
been more 60s. I don't know, but it's older.
No, the stop motion is good, and like the drippy face was dripping at a high level of frames.
Yeah, about 12 frames a second.
When the vampires are playing hockey, they're playing hockey with a jack-o'-lantern.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally a replica of Tim Burton's head. But they changed it. I think there was some animosity between Burton and Danny Elfman on this set, which is why Danny Elfman did not score Ed Wood.
Oh.
I don't know much about that.
Tim
Yeah.
Burton kind of seems like a Jack Skellington.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd like Tim Burton.
Danny Elfman said that this was the easiest composition he'd ever written and that he had so much in common with Jack Skellington.
Okay.
And it could have been because he was like looking for something new or more
Right.
of a creative
Yeah.
challenge. I don't know.
And he also sings all the songs in it. So
He
he's
does,
writing
yeah.
the songs for himself, more or less.
And they chose Chris Sarandon because his voice sounded like Danny Elfman's singing
It
voice.
totally does.
honestly, it's pretty seamless. Like, I didn't realize that Danny Elfman was singing it the first time until I saw the credits. I was like, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, because it is pretty seamless.
And I like Chris Sarandon a lot.
Should we even scary scale this?
I mean, yes, we have to. We scary
All right.
scale everything.
So explain the scary scale.
Okay, so our scary scale is a ranking where we decide how scared we were when we watched this movie today. It's not a ranking of how good the film is or the quality of it. It's just how scary we find it. Our example of a 1 is Ghostbusters, and our example of a 10 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
But this is not even meant to be scary. That's the reason. Like, if we're going to allow
It's meant
this
to
to be
be
on the
spooky
scary
atmosphere.
scale, if we're going to allow this on the scary scale, we should also allow zeros. It
No,
has to-
zeros are not allowed because it is a movie, and somebody has attempted to make a movie that would scare people, and so I give them credit for that attempt.
But this is not an
yeah.
attempt
About
at
that
scaring people. But yeah,
You don't
this
think
is
so?
no, not at all.
The imagery is
No,
scary.
It's not at all.
It's a little like creepy, but it's not scary.
It's not at all scary.
Well, so the
So
the
one.
attempt to be creepy.
So yeah, I mean,
Well, it's not a creepy scale.
but Jen, if we and I'm fine with the rules, right? I'm fine
Yeah.
with that. Jen, if I had to scary scale it, I'd give it a 1.
Okay.
Natalie, what would you give it?
1.
Mikey?
Obviously a 1.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm
Jen,
giving it a 1 too.
Yeah, so
And
it's
that's
ones
fine.
or one. Do you guys have the Christmas Eve tradition of opening one present on Christmas Eve?
No.
We done that.
My
one
family
years.
did that.
No.
Yeah. So yours did?
Yeah, we would always open, which we knew were going to be Christmas pajamas.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
about
And
that.
then we would have one other gift. We could pick a gift that we wanted to open.
So we didn't get Christmas pajamas because my family didn't do Christmas pajamas really, but we would do one gift and then we could get our stocking at midnight.
Oh,
Really?
That was like, yeah, that
we
was
didn't
my.
get our stockings so
That
No,
was,
we
so the
didn't either.
deal was my mom didn't want us to wake her up early.
No.
So she was like, you can get your stocking at midnight, but if you wake me up before 7, I'll choke you to death. So
Merry fucking Christmas.
So we would stay up until midnight, get our stocking, eat chocolate or whatever was in there, and always one like clementine that we would throw away.
We used to get clementines and like apples and
That's
stuff.
a Christmas. That's like a Christmas thing from the.
Yeah.
I think my mom
Depression.
I got-
would put my
Or
mom would
Laws on the
put
Prairie.
fruit and stuff inside the stocking because she knew we'd give it back to her, and she would just be there eating clementines and shit on Christmas morning.
Oh.
It was awesome. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay, so let's draw a mug.
Oh my God, it's my favorite time in the whole podcast. We get to draw a mug.
A mug, a
love it.
muggity mug.
Yeah, yeah,
So, guys,
so-
if you've left a text review of our podcast on the iTunes
Thing.
podcast thingamajig, then you are eligible to win a mug. So, if you haven't left a text review, do that now. Give us 5 stars. Say Jen's the best, or
Yeah, it
Todd's the
doesn't have
best,
to
or
be
Mikey should
long,
be on
but
more
if you
often.
don't
Yeah.
leave a text review, we can't see your name, so we
Right.
can't put that name in the
So
mug.
all the mugs or all the names in the mug are people who have left us reviews but not have previously won a mug.
Yeah, so there has been a little bit of talk on socials about how I love giving away mugs, and I just want to confirm, this is my favorite thing in the whole world.
And she is the Oprah of giving away mugs.
I
And
do, and you get a mug, and you get a mug.
Speaking of that, Oprah, would you please draw a name out of the hat?
I don't know. I'm enjoying the
mug.
greatest moment of my
Oh
life.
yeah, you're drawing a name out of the mug, not the hat.
I don't
Sorry.
know what's going on here. Hold on.
Yeah,
I
why are
can't
you
draw
taking
mugs
names out?
and hold a microphone. Hold on. Tabby Tails.
Tabby Tails.
That's a new one too.
Is it? Nice. Well, Tabby Tails, reach out to us on one of our socials, either Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and we will send you a mug.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Merry
A mug,
Christmas.
Tabby Tails. Woo. We'll send you a mug
man.
eventually.
Eventually being the operative word because Jen usually forgets.
Man, mail is hard.
And that's M-A-L-E. So, guys.
I did not say that.
So, Natalie, we want to
Yes.
give out your pluggables?
My pluggables is
Yeah.
that my.
I feel
my
like I think we
Instagram?
need another word for that.
Yeah, I don't really like pluggables. That's not a great
You
word.
can find me at my plug of my plugs.
So, so where can we find you online, guys? What's your socials? So, Natalie, where do people find you?
Natalie Renee Long on Instagram
Yes.
and YouTube.
Mikey is at mrandolph24
Yeah, plug away.
on Instagram and Twitter. I
And
know
Twitter.
yours, yeah.
Oh, that's
I know
sweet.
yours too, Natalie.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, whatever.
Aw.
Yeah, we follow them too, so you can find them on our list too.
Yes. And Jen Ferratu is the one who was talking there, Jen. And she's Jen Ferratu on Instagram and Twitter. And I am at Todd J. Awesome on Instagram and Twitter. We are a member of the Modern Horse Podcast Network, so guys, check them out. They got a lot of great podcasts. And if you're listening to us in their feed on Wednesdays, make sure you listen to us
hell is
on
wrong
our
with
feed in Mondays. I know, right? Lock it the fuck up, nerds. If you want to get
Probably
it 2
got
days
that.
earlier, subscribe to our channel and you will get it 2 days earlier on Monday.
That's how days work.
Right.
And numbers. Merry almost Christmas. Some of us are going to get our stockings at midnight. Some of you may already be wearing Christmas pajamas.
And
you
or
opened
be
the night
opening
before.
your one Christmas
Right.
Eve
and
gift.
some of you may be like me and just looking at those presents longingly or trying to fend your kids off from those presents.
Yeah.
So.
They're trying to stop your kids from shaking the shit out of the gifts.
Oh, dude, man, my son brought the present to me like first day we put him under the tree. He was like, I want to see what's inside it.
You can't.
And I was like,
Aw.
I know it was sweet, but I still said no.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want to ruin it. Yeah.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
I am a good mom.
So Natalie and Mikey, thank you so much for
Yes,
being on the
thank you.
podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It was
Merry
a lot
Christmas,
of fun.
world.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
We'll be back tomorrow with an actual scary movie. Thanks for hanging out with us during this non-scary musical that I enjoyed a lot, and I never get things that I enjoy to watch, and I appreciate it. It was
poor
nice.
you.
Oh
You
my
got
gosh.
behind the mask.
I didn't know I was gonna love Behind the Mask, though. I thought it was gonna be scary.
Yeah, it's the gift.
I
that keeps
loved
on
it,
giving.
Nathan. I love you.
Everybody drink eggnog tonight, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
into it. Eggnog is the best. It's also like 1,000 calories per 8 ounces, but
and
whatever.
gross.
Yeah, it's sort of like
Don't
hot,
drink eggnog.
It's like hot spit. It's not.
Yeah.
it's not
Oh,
great.
yeah.
It's gross. So you went from eggnog is the best to eggnog is hot spit
I honestly,
in 10
I will
seconds.
put down a little bit of eggnog.
You
yeah.
can't finish
And then
a
you
whole
realize
glass.
what it
No, you
tastes
can't
like.
finish a
You
whole
don't
glass,
want
yeah.
another
Glass
sip.
of
Hot
eggnog.
spit. That's like something else.
No, you know what
Whose
is
spit
good?
comes out
It
cold.
tastes like bleach smells.
And people who are dead
It does,
inside,
though.
Mikey.
Yeah,
Jack Frost.
You and I are talking about something very different.
no, don't know. I don't want to hear about Jack Frost and his spit or anything like
Aw.
about Jack Frost.
Hey, how was it talking about a Christmas movie that does not include sexual assault, Mikey?
I felt really great about it.
That's our Christmas gift
I
to
haven't
you.
watched a horror movie here in like a month. It's just been Christmas of like rapey things and music.
Real uncomfortable.
Musicals.
Things in music.
So that's going to be it for us, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Merry
Oh.
Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas, guys.
holidays. I'm Jen.
And I'm Todd. All right, guys. Bye.
Do, 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 do.
Nerds.